Hey guys, it's True with GunsAmerica's Hunt365. This is one of our wolf tip episodes. I'm with Zach Owens. Some of you know him from his social media Beyond the Backcountry. He's one of the more successful guys that hunt wolves. We've been out wolf hunting today, and we're gonna give you some tips on how to set up for a successful wolf hunt as far as like where to sit.
Yep.
So let's just start out with some of that kind of stuff, with some real basic stuff for people that might be here in Idaho or Wyoming or Montana. Maybe they're elk or deer hunting, and if you're hoping that you get a shot at a wolf, let's talk about some of the things you don't want to do first.
Well, when you're setting up for calling, there's a lot. If you've ever coyote hunted.
Look, even if you're not calling, let's just say you're out deer and elk hunting, one of the best things you can do if you want to shoot a wolf is be really quiet. Like, don't be making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
If you're out cow calling or bugling, there's a really good chance that you're going to have a wolf come check you out.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they eat. And so if you're out deer and elk hunting, you're out hunting the same thing that they hunt.
Yep.
And there's a good chance that you would run into one. And so one of the things you don't want to do is make a lot of noise. So if you got a buddy with you, make sure you're whispering. If you got radios, keep them turned down.
Yep.
They have great hearing.
Yeah.
And they have great eyesight.
Yeah, they have great all senses. Yeah.
So let's talk about silhouetting.
Yeah.
Is this something you want to do?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same as if you're elk hunting. Anything you're setting up to call coyote hunting, doesn't matter what you're hunting, you don't want to silhouette yourself.
Okay.
The same thing sitting in a tree stand hunting whitetail. You need.
So how many times have we been out though and been like, there's something right there on the skyline, and then it's a hunter?
Yeah,
like, it's so easy every
Yeah.
time, right? It's a really high vantage point. People like to be up there, they can see.
Yep.
But guys, the trick here is roll down off the edge to where anything that looks up there isn't just going to see you skyline. Yep. Any movement you make is going to be exaggerated because it's against the sky. So just come down off the skyline. It makes a huge difference whether you're coyote hunting, wolf hunting, deer, elk hunting. I mean, that's just a hunting tip in general,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to wolves, is don't skyline yourself. Yep. Does camo make any difference with wolves? What's your honest opinion?
Movement more so, just like anything. I am a fan of camo. I think you can get away with a lot more with camo. I absolutely do. But is it a requirement? No, but I would recommend it.
Okay. So guys, there might be a time where you're sitting there and a wolf comes in over here and you're not set up in that direction and you've got to move. So let's talk about movement. If you have to move, how should you do it?
As slow as you can.
Okay, so you don't want to be like and jerk and move, because that quick movement is going to just set off every sense that wolf has.
Camo or not.
Camo or not. Camo is not going to save you in that situation. So demonstrate. How slow would you move?
Yeah, I mean, if something's coming in, I mean, I'm picking up as slow as I can. They're seeing no extra movement.
Okay, you just don't want to do anything that's going to actually like catch their eye, their peripheral, whatever senses. Now let's talk about their other sense of smell, because that's a big one. So how do we sort of defeat their sense of smell? What is the most common way? And we both know this, but a lot of our viewers may not know this.
Yeah, by setting up downwind.
So what does that mean exactly? So let's break this down really simple. What does it mean to set up downwind?
So where the animal is coming from and where I'm at, I need the wind to be blowing from where the animal is coming from.
So if you had really good sense of smell, you would be able to smell the animal.
Correct.
Okay, so literally, if I'm hoping to hunt in this direction and the wind is coming from my back, it's blowing my scent to the animal, and I want the opposite. I want the animal scent blowing to me.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have that good a sense of smell. I don't smell it, but they can smell us if it's the other way around.
Yep.
So that's what we mean by setting up downwind.
And you can't control the wind, but there's things you can learn by spending time in the woods about the wind, such as what the thermals do in the day and in the evening and in the morning.
They change, and you can pretty much count on them doing certain things at certain times. So that's not something we want to get into right now, but go look into that. There's been lots of articles and videos done on thermals and how the wind changes depending on the time of day and the temperature. So check that out. But the point is here, guys, is you want the animal scent being blown to your nose, not the other way around.
Correct.
Okay, good. Anything else with that? So what's one of the best things that I know we both carry them. We've got these bottles. Show these guys how this works.
Yep. Wind checker. It's not only for archery hunting.
Okay.
It is super important.
So You guys, I don't know how well you can see that, but it just came out and it went this way and it just sort of swirled around.
Yeah, this isn't a great time to call wolves, I'll tell you that much, when the wind's doing that.
But what it does is it's scentless. It doesn't make a bunch of motion. You don't have to be reaching out and throwing dirt up in the air that the animal might see. It's just a matter of shake it, a little puff of dust comes out and you can see exactly what the wind's doing. It doesn't weigh anything. What brand do you use? Does it matter?
No.
Okay, so any sort of wind checker.
Breeze Squeeze.
Okay, any one of them, buy the cheapest one you can find. It's all basically got the same stuff in it, but it should be scentless, so it doesn't, you know, blow your scent right to something or smell really strongly.
Yeah, and you need to buy pre-made stuff. I've tried. Baby powder doesn't work. Like flour, nothing else works. Whatever they use, this is what you need to use.
Okay, so that is definitely something to carry if you're predator hunting. And honestly, anything else, guys, other animals have great sense of smell as well. And so you always want to be paying attention to what the wind's doing. And we were calling these wolf tips, and they're really, really important for wolves, maybe more important than for other animals, but they're really basic hunting tips.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
But wolves, it's going to be even more critical than other animals.
Yeah, I think going back to the silhouette on top of a hill is just in general having something at your back, if at all possible. A tree, a bush, a log, that will also break up your silhouette.
Outline.
Your outline, your silhouette.
And both of us love to have stuff in front of us as well. At least I do. If I can find a bush to sit in front of me, it means that I can move my hands and set my binoculars down without being seen. Or like I like to run my rangefinder, and so if I can have something sort of here, and I'll even leave my gun up in my shoulder, and I'll just leave it sitting there so I don't have to swing it or move it, and I'll set up in a direction that I think an animal might be coming from, and then that way I can run my binoculars. I can run my rangefinder. I'll pre-range stuff so that I don't have to do it when it shows up, and if it shows up where I hope it does. Right. So, guys, you got anything else?
Yeah, I think one we missed, a super important one, is where you set up for what you can see. Obviously, it's going to depend on terrain. Like where we were today, we went and called an area that it was rolly and with a bunch of deadfall, dead timber. But the way it was rolly, we stopped multiple times. We're like, is this a good spot? Can we see something coming? You want to be able to see them coming long before they just pop up at 20 yards.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you may not have time. They're insanely fast. They're insanely athletic.
Quiet.
You won't hear them. They're called gray ghosts for a reason. And because they just are in and out, you may never even see them. And I guess that'd be the next thing though, is just have your head on a swivel, be moving slowly, keep your peripheral vision going, watching for movement. You're not going to hear them more than likely unless they're being vocal. But even then, when they come into you, they probably are going to shut up.
Yeah, they're quiet.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not going to necessarily be given any indicators, like they're not going to be barking or growling or any of that kind of stuff that maybe is more folklore of wolves.
Yeah, sometimes you will. I've had it happen, but usually it's silent. You hear them a long way away, and then you don't hear them when they're coming.
Yeah, and then suddenly you just see one, and maybe if you weren't on it, it's them leaving because they came in and they smelled you, they saw you, they heard you, and they're gone before you ever even had a chance to even be sure that that's what they were.
And they don't stick around. Like a deer, sometimes an elk will
they'll look at you, curious, give you
a wolf is gone.
Yeah. Especially here in the lower 48. In Canada and Alaska, could be a different story. Down here, it is a different game. So, okay, anything else?
I think that covers most of it.
Okay, guys, we'll have more tips on wolf hunting coming up here on Guns America's Hunt 365. We appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time here on the channel. Thank you.